Fox News is very upset about an ad that was run by the Freedom from Religion Foundation about the Hobby Lobby case. Now, they were upset because it seemed like it was the Supreme Court imposing their particular religion, which in the case of the majority happens to be all Catholic, which is really amazing. It's interesting. And they're saying, look, since you have a bunch of Catholic justices here telling us what we should all believe, that's not really freedom of religion. They're imposing their religion on us. So the ad is specifically designed to talk about how this particular religion is being imposed upon us, and they took it out in the New York Times, and you can see it here. And you know, they explain all of that, and they've got a lot of words there. They say you got to fight back, etc. And the two things that apparently made Fox News angry is, you'll notice up top it says, all male, all Roman Catholic majority on Supreme Court puts religious wrongs over women's rights. Okay? Well, it said all male, all Roman Catholic. Oh my God, we'll get to that in a second. They're going to be outraged. Andrea Tantaros is going to go to work. Also later on in that ad, they say the Supreme Court's ultra-conservative Roman Catholic majority. Now, this is time for conservatives to cry and pretend to be the victim. Go forward.
The New York Times is under fire for publishing a controversial ad that many find offensive to Catholics. The Times defends running the ad, saying it complies with their company's policy. Part of their statement to us says, quote, "We do not accept advertisements that are gratuitously offensive on racial, religious, or ethnic grounds, or that are considered to be in poor taste." Now, Greg, isn't that exactly what this ad is? If you replace the words all male, Catholic, let's assume with all female, or Jewish, or any other term besides Catholic, there would be Armageddon.
It's actually a compliment to Catholicism, because they wouldn't have accepted an ad that was critical of Islam precisely for this reason. Catholics don't cut your head off. They don't mutilate your body. They don't kidnap virgins. The worst thing Catholics do is shake your hand at Mass.
God, I love that they don't understand irony on Fox News. You just said it was bigoted against Catholics, and then look at what you just said about Muslims. They don't cut people's heads off like the Muslims. Yeah. You see how bigoted they are? Oh, I see, Greg. I see, right? So, look, it's Freedom from Religion Foundation. Of course they're against religion. That's the whole point of the group, right? And if it was all 5 Muslim justices, wait for it. You might have to wait a couple hundred or a couple thousand years in America. It was 5 Jewish justices, 5 Protestant justices, and they had all decided that we're going to follow their religion. I guarantee you Freedom from Religion Foundation would have done an ad against that, because they want to be free from religion. That's the whole point. Okay. They still don't get it, and they continue here.
But isn't this profiting off of bigotry, Eric?
Well, sure, the New York Times is profiting. I'm not sure it's bigotry. What it is it's the media, again, the divide and conquer media, men against women, blacks against whites, wealthy against poor.
Is there a bigotry against Catholics in the Democratic Party? Is this a growing movement by progressives?
No, I think what you're seeing is a fundraising letter, right? I mean, the big argument to me is the one that Greg raised, which is the New York Times refused an ad that said "End Islam." And they said at the time, oh, we don't, you know, I think they're worried that the terrorists might come after the New York Times if they ran that ad. Okay, but then how are you going to then say it fits your standards and run an ad that goes after the Catholics?
The ad doesn't go after Catholics. It says we don't want the Catholics to impose their religion on us. But they're purposely dense. They're dense on purpose. Like, the only thing that I agree with is Juan Williams saying the New York Times should have run the ad against Islam. Absolutely, they should have, right? I think that was wrong, it was cowardly, etc. For the New York Times not to run that. But in this case, I love how Andrea started in the first place. New York Times is under fire. Really? By who? By no one, except you. So some say that Fox News loves that trick. Some say that New York Times has done something very wrong here. Yeah, I know, you said it. No one else said it, right? And it's not bigotry to point out that you're against religion. That's what atheists do. That's what agnostics do, humanists, etc. They just don't agree with you, but they can't wait to be the victim. Oh my God, we're the victims here. It's bigotry against us, poor Catholics, who, by the way, have 5 Supreme Court justices that can be the majority in every single case if they wanted to. If there's so much bigotry against Catholics, how did so many of them wind up on the Supreme Court? By the way, there's actually more than 5 Catholics. It just happened to be that the 5 Catholics ruled in that direction in that case. The amount of Catholics is amazing on the Supreme Court. It's a coincidence, but certainly shows that it's not like that they lack power in America. You know who lacks power in America? Atheists, agnostics, people who want to be free from religion. Here, I'll show it to you. Do you know that technically there's still 8 states on the books that say that you are not allowed to run for any political office if you're an atheist, if you don't believe in God? Now, that's illegal and unconstitutional, and in 1961 the Supreme Court ruled that way, but they never bothered to take it off the books. They're like, really? We're going to listen to the Supreme Court? When the Supreme Court rules in favor of religion, just when it rules against it, well, let's keep it on the books just in case. Here's North Carolina's provision. The following persons shall be disqualified for office. First, any person who shall deny the being of an almighty God. You see how the Catholics are discriminated against, right? No, what unbelievable bigotry. And then Texas, Article 1, Section 4. No religious test shall ever be required, oh good, as a qualification to any office or public trust in this state, nor shall anyone be excluded from holding office on account of his religious sentiments, provided he acknowledge the existence of a supreme being. Wait, I believe that's some type of religious belief. They're like, no, we allow all religious beliefs as long as you agree with us that there's one God and he's a supreme being. Otherwise, shut up and get out of our state. So now, those are unconstitutional, thank God. You might say, hey, that's the old days. Man, they just never bothered to take it off the books. So let's go to a recent poll from Pew Survey. 53% of Americans think it is necessary to believe in God to be moral at all. If you don't believe in God, you're immoral by definition. That's a majority of the country. No, the bigotry is against Catholics. What a joke. What a joke. Now, when it comes to politics, 43% of voters would not vote for a candidate who was atheist. Period. I don't care about anything else. I don't care if he's Mother Teresa and saved 13 kids from a burning building, is about to save the country from a deficit and a war. I don't care. He's atheist. End the conversation. I will never vote for him. But the bigotry is against poor Catholics who dominate the Supreme Court. And when they impose their religion on us and we don't like it, we're bigoted against Catholics. Fox News logic to a T.